Hi guys, it's Shona here and welcome to this video on ditching the bowl and using your food for training instead. So, using your food instead for training, it's pretty self-explanatory. Instead of giving your dog their food in the bowl, you're taking that food and you're using it during some training. And that's it really. And you're just getting your dog to basically work for their food, in a sense. You are able to do this through practicing things that they already know. So things like sit, down, you can do recall, wait, paw, anything that your dog already knows and you just want to practice it, something you might not have done in a while, or you just want them using their brain. It's a good way to do that. It's also a good one to for random reinforcement, so randomly rewarding your dog for doing something good out of the blue. So say your dog has sat at the back door before going outside, you can give them a treat for that because that's a good thing to do. Or if they have come over to you and put their paw on your lap, almost asking to come up onto the sofa, then that's a good thing to do and they can have a piece of food for that as well. Anything like that throughout the day where they just do random good behaviours that are things that we'd like them to do but we didn't even ask them, we can use their food and give them a piece of food for just being a good dog. You can do it for teaching new things. So if you were wanting to teach your dog to hold a toy in their mouth for 15 seconds, you can do it for that, so teaching them a new trick. It's better if your dog is really into their food for that, because it's already really valuable to them and they will want to work for it. If your dog is a little bit around food, they're not really willing to work for it, you can make their food a little bit more interesting so you can use it for teaching new things. And one way to do that is to get your dog's food in a container or a little plastic bag, chop up a little bit of something tasty, so maybe some hot dogs or maybe pieces of chicken or cheese, just a few pieces, and put them in with your dog's food. You can shake it up and the flavour from the hot dogs or the chicken will go onto the food and it'll make it smell a bit more and it'll make it taste a little bit more tastier. So then your dog's going to be a bit more interested in it. Another way you can do it is just warming your dog's food up a little bit. Just by warming it up, it brings out the smells and a bit more of the flavour out of that really dry food. So your dog's going to be a little bit more interested in it. Or you can do a long training process of getting the dog's food, getting your dog interested in food a lot more. But you can use the easier options. I like to use the easier options, or if my dog isn't that interested in food, we can use toys as well, and there are lots of food related toys which are great and I'll go through in another video, but yeah, you can use it to practice good things, things your dog already knows, reward just random good behaviours for your dog, and teach them some new stuff if you have a very foodie dog. Preparation is always key, is something I've always been taught, as well as practice makes perfect, but preparation is always key. So if you are going to want to use your dog's food for their training, there's a few things you can do just to prepare yourself and prepare the food so it's almost accessible and ready for you when you're training. So if your dog has a set amount of dry food that you usually just pour into the bowl and then give to your dog the same amount each day, whichever that little measurement is, instead of doing that, you can measure up how much your dog needs for that day, and then you can split it into however many portions. So you could have a portion that's going to be morning good behaviours, so just rewarding your dog for any random good behaviours. And then you maybe think in the afternoon we're going to practice some things that my dog already knows during the Coronation Street adverts. And you can set a little bit of food out of the daily allowance for that, put it in a little container, a little Tupperware container. Many of us have lots of them. We all have a secret stash of containers. Put it in one of them and put that in your living room, because that's where you're going to be sat watching Coronation Street and watching TV in the evening. So if it's already there, you don't even have to get up and go to the kitchen. It's there ready for you. And maybe have a little bit of the portion in a little plastic bag and put that in your coat pocket, so then you have some for when you're out on a walk with your dog and they're doing random good behaviours. You can reward them. Maybe they didn't bark at the bike that went past, or maybe they didn't run up to the children playing in the park today. So you can reward them with a piece of food for that, because it's all good behaviours. But the main things are, again, practicing things they already know, just because it's good practice. Reinforcing good things that they do randomly off their own back, and also using it for new behaviours, so teaching them something new, a new trick, a new good behaviour. Maybe they've started to jump at the door when they want to go out for a wee, so you can use it to stop them jumping at the door. It could be used for so many things, and it makes your dog's life so much more interesting, because they get to work for their food, they get to figure out what they need to do to get their food, which makes it more interesting. They're using their brains a lot more and engaging with you a lot more, which is creating a better bond for you both, and it's just so much better than feeding from a bowl.